Hi, I'm Mug from Pinnacle. I'm here with Tarek from NRG. So the CSGO competitive calendar has many different events with different formats. What is your sort of favourite format and least favourite format to sort of like attend as a player?
I think for me, it sucks when you go to an event and it's like double elim, BO1s. That's just like really lame because let's say you travel all the way to Europe and you play 2 BO1s and you're out of the event. That's become less of the norm these days. That used to be more common back in the day. I like it when I go to an event and I have double elim BO3 chances. So I have to lose 2 BO3s to get knocked out. And that's when I think I have like given my best shot at this event. And if I do lose those 2 BO3s, then I do deserve to not be there.
I think the best format was like they used it on the minor. That was like Swiss BO3s. It was really dynamic and a lot of really good matches to play. The last favorite I think was, I don't know any, like only the names, but when it's 2 matches of best of ones, it's always sad to play. It's not fun. It's like, you know, could be a lot of upsets.
I'd say least favorite would be 2 best of ones in a row to go through. I know that was ECS's format last year. They just changed it to best of 3 winners match, which I prefer. I don't think you should make it to playoffs winning 2 best of ones in a row. That's ridiculous in my opinion. I'd also say I don't really like blast format with the best of ones only, and then you make a final and then do a name map. I'd say that those 2 would probably be my least favorite formats.
The best tournament format would definitely be the the Swiss format, best of 3, all the way through, that we played in Shanghai, I think it was. So you play a lot. You can't just like lose one best of 3 and then best of 1 and you're stuck again like in an elimination match, like we were in Dallas. So yeah, definitely.
Cool. And what's your least favourite tournament format?
GSL double best of 1, and then if you manage to win that best of 1, you have a best of 3. It kind of sucks. Everything should just be best of 3.
Eu acho que o estado atual das competição, acho que tem sido bem corrido, na verdade. Eu acho que o minor e o major durante o pause break, eu acho que não foi uma coisa da hora da Valve, mas também eu acho que os caras estavam deixando muito acomodado o calendário e quis dar uma mexida para, tipo, diferenciar um pouco as coisas.
I think it's hard choosing the best format. I actually like playing different ones, I would say, because it's very tactical to know if you're in a group of 8 people, how are you going to 8 teams, how are you going to anti-strat teams, how are you going to prepare, these kind of things. So I think it brings out a fun element to the game and the preparation most of all. But the more best of 3 you have, the better. I think the format we had back in Dallas is a bit flawed, since the first best of 1 game you're playing is pretty much going to determine your whole group stage. And I don't think that's the way to go, but if you would make that game a best of 3, that's a fine format for a group of 6 teams.
Yeah, I mean, the formats are always different at every event, it feels like now, especially as tournament organisers are getting bigger and can decide what they want to do. I'm not a big fan of the Blast series and how that's been introduced and how teams are reacting to that. But apart from that, I think the pro scene's pretty good. I think the circuit is still good. The majors are obviously the most prestigious still, which is always the key. Yeah, so in general, I think the tournament organisers are doing a pretty good job.
I think the worst format was when it was GSL groups, so 4 teams in each group, best of 1 all the way. I think that was chaotic, and so it worked in a way because there was such a big gap between the top teams and the other ones. So in general, the top 2 of the groups were the expected ones because there was such a difference in level. Nowadays, it is not the case. I'm very glad that this system doesn't really happen anymore. And I don't know, best format in my opinion is not one that is used in Counter-STIRKE. I would like to see format for like 16 team tournaments to have, I don't know, sort of like the international where it's 2 groups of 8, or it was, I don't remember how it is now, but 2 group of 8 teams, each team plays one another, best of 1, and then you go into winner and loser brackets straight. It's not being done right now because tournaments are generally over the span of a week, so it's hard to replan it, but that's what I would love to see in Counter-Strike to come out?
You know, I'm pretty big fan of like the new ESL format with like the bracket style groups and stuff. I like this format where like even the opening matches are BO1, but the groups are best of 3. I think there are a lot of good formats. I'm actually not a fan of the Blast format. Like, as it's invite only, like I don't even get to compete at them because I don't have qualifiers, but then like as a spectator, like I feel like there's such good teams there and I really want to watch the games and I can't focus on all the games, 3 really good games at once. So like, I think it's a pretty poor format.
What's the best format, I would say? Okay, for me, the best tournament format will be, actually I have 2. If you have 16-team tournament, the GSL best of 3 will be one of the best thing, but world best of 3, no best of 1 at all. And also the ESL formats they introduced like 1 year ago, I think, is a good one because you play only 1 best of 1 and the rest is best of 3. Even if I would prefer have the first game also in best of 3, but I think it's the right direction because having too many best of 1 is not the good thing because it's too random. And now, yeah, the best team always win most of the time. So yeah, I think those formats are the best.